Okay, when I voted for President Obama, by the way, lots of reasons, which are not important. The first disappointment, and I don't even know if there's a second, the thing that really, really disappointed me, in fact, ticked me off, pissed me off, whatever, was when he said he was not going to pursue any investigations even of the people who did the torturing, you know, the waterboarding. He said, oh gosh, we're going to let that be in the past and we're going to go in the future. Well, come on. I haven't filed my taxes in a few years. So are you going to say, oh gosh, let George not file his taxes, let's look to the future? Come on. That was really disappointing. And, you know, if we're going to take the moral high ground, you know, we need to be, you know, we need to deserve it. And we need to follow the rule of law. Now, the catalyst for my bringing this thing back about the SEALs is, oh, and let me back up. A lot of people have said, or some people have said, that, you know, they could have handled this without bringing these young men to trial. I was going to say kids, but I'm going to say young men. Young men to trial. In other words, they have like captain's mast or whatever, or something, and say, hey, you shouldn't have done that. I'm going to put a damn letter in your jacket or whatever you call it, personnel file. If you screw up again, you know you're going to be in big trouble. And then toss it after 6 months or a year or something. I think we're all entitled to some kind of consideration. You know, if these are young men who have had an impeccable record, for lack of a better word or something, I mean, don't we also owe them something? And don't we also have to realize that they're human beings too, and that they can make mistakes? It wasn't like they murdered the guy, for crying out loud. Supposedly, I guess they punched him in the stomach, punched him in the mouth or something. No, they shouldn't have done that. That's not good. But come on, you need to take this thing in the overall context. But here's the absurd thing. Just as these kids, young men, are being brought to trial, John Yoo, who was Bush's lawyer, who was all involved in this torturing stuff. Now, I don't know anything about law. You know, I read the back of my speeding tickets once in a while, but that's about it. I know about much about law as I know about medicine. No, that's not true. I watched Law and Order for several years. But this John Yoo, evidently, he was the main guy who, as I understand it, was giving Bush or the Bush administration or whomever the go-ahead to torture these people. And I think there was one fellow who was waterboarded 183 times or something like that. And folks, that's torture. There's no other way around it. So what we have is we have the Bush administration who tortured people. And nothing is going to happen. But yet we have 3 young men who, I will assume, have been perfect sailors, daggone good SEALs, and who obviously paid the price to go through all the daggone training and dedicate their lives to do this kind of work. And now we're bringing them to trial for punching a guy in the nose or something, or the mouth, and punching him in the stomach. Now, let's just for a minute say, I don't know if they should bring him to trial. I think there would be better ways of handling this. But let's look at it this way. On one hand, we have these 3 young men whose careers are going to be tarnished, most likely, regardless of what happens, and whose careers could be ruined depending upon what happens when they're brought to trial. And we have the Bush administration who tortured people, tortured them, and not one time, over and over and over and over again, but seemingly nothing is going to happen to them. Now, no matter what you say, or whether you're Republican or Democrat or any of that kind of crap, or conservative or liberal or anything else, whether you think the SEALs should or shouldn't be tried, this ain't fair and it ain't justice. And people talk about us taking the moral high ground and all that kind of stuff. I'll tell you, this is absolutely disgusting. It truly is. There's just no way around it. 3 young men here punch somebody, we take them to trial. John Yoo, the Bush administration, torture people day after day after day after day after day, and they get a free pass. That sucks the giant one. Anyway, As Pat Condell would say, peace, ladies and gentlemen.